Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Iceland's podcast. I know we missed out last week, so we're back in full force this week. This week, we're going to do a great playoff recap and the championship preview. So we're going to make up for last week, inshallah. Just to let you know, the man behind the voice right now, of course, it's yours truly, Maju. I've ditched my jersey, kind of make it a little bit more formal because we got the championship coming up tomorrow. And of course, I am, the commish, the man, the myth, the legend. He's gracious enough to join me on the podcast again. So we got Habibi, Akhi.
I'm not a myth. I'm a man, but I'm not a legend.
Yeah. You are the legend, bro, at 50, 51?
We'll just leave it at that.
You're still playing, so is Imran Shah. I gotta keep putting that in there. But bro, only if we could still continue to play as long as you are. It's a feat, man. Now, you guys have all been waiting for this. At least I have. I've been waiting for this man to make a comeback on the podcast. He's got always great quips to put into our chats constantly. So we're gonna miss him in the chat, but at least we have him here. The one, the only, Abdullah, no middle name, Patel.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Funny enough, actually, my middle name is Zubair. So usually all the guys from Malton call me Zubs. So, in Islam, I'm no middle name for now.
So A to Z Patel. Thanks.
Yeah.
And of course, we have our incumbent, Mr. Malik, always Riz, always saying salam in the chat. So Riz, thank you for always attending.
Maybe one day we can bring him in.
I think he's got to get a mic or get rid of his shyness or something first.
One day.
But anyways, boys, let's jump into it. We do have a fully packed lineup today, or just kind of doing some recaps. So I got my score sheets on my second screen. I got you guys here. Let's just jump right into it. I don't know if everyone's going to remember the quarterfinals, but I do want to give some shout outs for the quarterfinals. So one of the big quarterfinals we did have the first game was Ridha versus Taqwa. It ended in a 3-3 tie. MP, just Mohammed Shabir Patel. Like, I can't talk enough about this guy. He was tearing it up. And I know you're a fan, but mashallah, he was playing amazing. He was just racking up points left, right, and center. Ridha finally actually was able to do something more than their regular of just scoring 2 goals a game. They were able to score 3 to keep this very tight. And I do believe that Ridha was actually Taqwa came back. Ridha came back late to tie it in the second period. So and the shots were about 29-15. Their second game, however, was a different story. Taqwa just kind of took it to the next gear, and they would not be denied their moving on to the next round. They brought their game, right? I think there were a couple of little weak goals. I think at least Maju, the goalie for Ridha, would have wanted back. But all in all, I think Taqwa just took it and single-handedly was really breaking down. Now, again, we have MP as the first star, but a lot of credit has to be given to Yusuf Kapoor. The man made 27 saves, not in the game, in the second period alone. Wow. He made 35. There were 35 shots on him, 26 saves, but still, regardless, 35 shots in the game, 8 in the first period, 27 in the second, and they only allowed the 1 goal. So he was, for the last 5 minutes, I think Ridha kept Taqwa pinned, but could not get anything past Yusuf Kapoor, right? And we'll talk more about Yusuf's performance against Yakin and Abdullah. So we don't want to wait too much on here. We're going to jump into the other quarterfinals that were played, was the Iman and Ihsan. And in both games, you can see game 1 and game 2 that Hood Khan, this man has found a different level to play on. He is finally finding his rhythm and being able to play at the caliber that he keeps thinking he has been at. Now he is showing he's at. Habibi, what do you remember anything from 2 weeks ago?
I don't, but I think, like pretty much you said it. I think Hood Khan has pretty much set that up and brought it up to another level. I mean, he's brought that up in the quarterfinals and the semifinals. He's been definitely on a tear, and I think he's found a right spot in terms of like on our top line. Fit in with the right players, well, like Hamad and Bilal. So I think those three guys are really tearing it up, and there's nothing that can stop those guys right now.
Yeah, definitely. And I'll talk more about Bilal Mohiddin and crew. Now, Abdullah, I'm going to get your thoughts on Iman when we talk about the finals, because I want to know who you're going to be breaking down and what your thoughts are. But before we get to that, let's get into the semifinals. So, semifinal game 1 of last week was Yakin and Taqwa. So, Taqwa coming in with that 5-1 game, really feeling that hot streak, and Yakin coming off of a bye where they were able to rest up, but also coming off a little bit of a season-ending slump, right? I believe, so Taqwa did start off the scoring. They were able to get a quick one by Fahad, and that I think rattled Yakin a little bit. But at the end of the night, Yakin kind of just kept that resiliency that they've been known for, and they're rolling their consistent lines, and they're able to pull out the 3-1 win. So, Abdullah, now I'm going to put you on the spot, brother. So, what did you see out there? What did you feel? What were your thoughts going into that game?
Yeah, for sure. And I think coming into this game, I was hearing a lot of chatter, outside on socials that, this game was the game to watch and this series was a series to watch. Taqwa being that powerhouse with, an absolutely stacked, it really, if you look at their roster, an absolutely stacked team. The whole season, they were really, really fun and a really, really good team to watch. And we knew that coming into this game, it wasn't going to be easy. And by all means, it definitely wasn't. Definitely wasn't a cakewalk. They started the scoring. Abu Manja got a quick one. I believe he scored past Fahad, and I think if we had anyone else except Fahad, it could have easily been 3 or 4 in that first period. I feel like coming off the bye, a lot of times it can be seen as a disadvantage as well, just because you're not as fresh as the team that you're playing. So. We knew that we needed to change something, and we couldn't drop that first game, just given how crucial that advantage is. And so coming into the second half, towards the end of the first half, we really, really rotated our lines, and we relied on really everyone. And I think people that usually don't show up on the score sheet as often were truly the unsung heroes in this game. Our third line, led by Zaid Qadri, really, really pulled through. And, Zaid was able to get a quick one past Yusuf to tie the game before the half. And I think in the second half, it was really kind of a lot more of a balanced game where we were able to break out of our zone a bit, get more zone possession, but we just couldn't break down Yusuf. I think it took all the way until, I guess, 5 minutes left. Maz had a short-handed breakaway, and watching that whole ordeal go down from the bench, it was really Maz versus Huzi to see who was able to get to the ball first. Arguably two of the best players in Iceland this season. Really, it was really, really fun to watch them. You really battle for that ball. Maz was able to towards the end get a little bit more space and make that Peter Forsberg one-handed finish move on Yusuf short-handed. And I think that really kind of just capped off, because I guess that first game, I think we worked really hard to contain them. That first line with MP, Abu Manja, Huzi, Rayan, and Zahir, and then even having the luxury to have a second line that could easily be a first line, on any other team. For Taqwa, I think it was a really, really strong defensive performance for us, and without Fahad, we definitely wouldn't have been able to win that first game.
Yeah, definitely, Habibi. I know you usually end up going to the change room about halfway through the game to get you in your routine, but what did you see when you're able to catch some of the game?
Well, I mean, I don't think I can get it.
I know we can't get more detailed than
I don't
Abdullah
think.
did.
I think Abdullah did a great job in terms of summarizing, but I didn't really catch that much of it because I think we were more zoned into our game and stuff like that. But I think in terms of like Fahad and his performance and what he does to a team and what he brings to the table, and I think this was really a game of both great goalies. You have Kapoor on the other end and Fahad. Fahad for Yakin. And if it wasn't for Fahad in this game, I definitely do agree with Abdullah that it could have definitely gone the other way.
So Abdullah, you're getting a shout out already from York Phantoms that you should be a regular on the podcast, buddy. So you know who that is? You want to call him out?
Yeah, I'll speak to my coach after. I think he wants. I guess inshallah, I'll be regular on the podcast next season.
I hope so.
Inshallah. Yeah. But yeah, no, I think you broke it down beautifully, Abdullah. Like, I got to give it to you. I have my notes here too. Like, we had that Peter Forsberg goal from Maz and everything. You just broke that, man. I'm like, well, what do I have in my notes? I don't have anything more than what you've already said. But now, so great recap, and definitely, like, it was definitely a great team effort. And like you said, that you had your second and third lines finally get their feet together, and you were able to kind of roll on that. And still nothing to be taken away from Taqwa, but it was still a 3-1 win on Yakin. Now, going into the second game, we have Sabr, right, the best team in the league, coming in against Iman, who has had a lot of shuffling because of GM's GM replacement, then that GM getting injured, another GM replacement, and now players actually just finding their rhythm. You're getting a lot of you're seeing Bilal Mohideen play on a different level. You're seeing Saleh try to even step it up even more than he's been doing. So just phenomenal. And Hood, we can't forget about Hood. So we have our 3 stars right there. We have Hood taking first star, Omar Hussein from Sabr having second, and then Mohamed Saleh. So Habibi, you were playing the game, so I don't even want to take that spotlight. Why don't you give us a breakdown?
Well, this game was definitely kind of a little bit different than Abdullah's game for the first game. This game was kind of like a 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. Every time that we scored, they would get back, and every time we would score again, they would come back. Every time we would score again, they would come back. But it just really it really does go to show that this game, I don't think Sabr was expecting what they were getting. You know what I mean? I think we kind of caught them by surprise. It's again, when you're a team and you kind of sit down and because I think Sabr kind of went unbeaten. I think they kind of won every single game that they won during the season. So when they have a team kind of with the tail that kind of Iman went through, we kind of had a different path. And we only started to get our rhythm, near the end of the season and stuff like that. So the game was really a back and forth type of game. I don't think Sabr was expecting what they got, but it just goes to show exactly what we talked about earlier. And in terms of the top line that Iman has, the chemistry that Hood, Muhammad, and Bilal have, and what they've done in terms of like turning our season around, there's nothing that stops those 3. And that's just what I'm going to say in terms of like in terms of what we brought. But I don't think Sabr was expecting what they got in terms of like what we brought to the table.
Yeah, most definitely. Like there's a lot of. I have to bring the focus on, and of course I'm going to do this, the goaltending, right? Adam Sayed, although
amazing,
21 shots were on him, so allowed 3, nothing amazing there, but he was making a lot of key saves to keep your team in it. Sabr was really getting the pressure on. Zaid Kalera, I think, showed up halfway through the game because of exams and all that other stuff, real world stuff. But it just showed the resiliency of Sabr. But your goalie, Adam Sayed, just was able to keep you in it. And I think this is going to be a big thing for Adam to be able to, to just keep talking at Riaz for the next couple of weeks and even to the next season. Because I think if you guys were there a couple of weeks ago, Riaz was saying that Adam Sayed's been telling him, hey, have you been checking the stats? Have you been chechecking the stats?
Yeah, but Riaz also brought up a new set of pads, thinking that it might be, might make a difference. Because, I mean, he showed up with all these, this new equipment, thinking that it might,
I think Habibi's it's Roger's
do
Wi-Fi.
something that.
There you go.
Oh, sorry, is it my wife? Speaking about Adam and what he's brought to the table,
It's okay.
You can't hear me? Hello?
We're good.
Yeah, no, Adam.
Yeah,
Adam. Ever since he's joined our team, it's really been one of the main reasons why we've been able to turn it around. So, that kid has just been kind of doing such great stuff for us, and there's nothing that can stop us right now with him in the net.
Now, Abdullah, have you heard any of this chatter about between Adam Sayed and Ree and like what's going on? And
Yeah, I think that entire both of these teams are very very familiar with each other. A lot of these guys have been playing with each other since Junior Salam Cup days and even now in at the Salam Cup with the Tigers team, and so and even in other leagues. So definitely saw a lot of that chatter even from their friends and family that were coming to watch. There was a bit of a banter between families from either side, so it was really really fun to watch. And honestly, this game, coming in scoreless at the half, definitely not expecting 6 goals in the second half. And I think both teams really, really stepped up. Hood really took kind of charge of this game in the absence of one of their GMs and probably one of their really core players in Adam Ahmed, who was out sick unfortunately for both those games. So he really really took that charge and was able to lead his team to at least getting that tie with 2 goals that game. But give it to Sabr for sticking in there. And I think speaking on Adam Sayed, with the minute left, Zaid Khalir, was actually hooked on a breakaway,
Penalty
and
shot. Yeah.
it was a penalty shot, and that easily could have been the game winner for Sabr to give them that 1-0 series lead. But a quick poke check by Adam Sayed, really really saved that game and kept it as a tie. Leaving everything, really just everything down to the line, in that second game. And unfortunately, I think I saw Riaz limping off after game one, suffering, I believe, was a hamstring or a quad, something in his leg, that was bothering him. It seemed to be bothering him kind of sometime in the second half. But
Yeah,
yeah,
he didn't. Yeah, he
really,
couldn't play the second game.
yeah, he couldn't play the second game. But I definitely think goaltending, along with scoring, was the story in the series.
Most definitely. And we have Adam Sayed kind of chiming in in the comments saying Riaz laughed at us before the game and told me that we were going to score so many goals on you guys. So I think Riaz is eating his words now. But Adam, if you want to give us a little bit more information on that would be perfect. But yeah, very well said. Like I think the big turning point was that penalty shot.
Yeah.
And to be quite honest, like Adam made a great decision there. He did everything. But what the heck was Zaid thinking? Like not even a shot, I don't even know what the heck that was. So Zaid, for a man who loves to say, oh, I want breakaways, just dump the ball, just high dump it and I'll get to it. I don't know what the heck you were doing when you had a complete, penalty shot.
But that's all. That also goes to like what Abdullah was talking about. Like these are family and friends. They know each other's tendencies. Do you see what I mean? So
Yeah.
that was probably just Adam just saying, I know what he's going to do. I know what I need to do, and I did it because I know his tendencies, right? So it just goes to show that that's it's also a mind game too, right?
Oh, we got Adam again. We had this game hyped up for a while, and then he said he was looking for this. There you go. So, jumping into our game two, this good God, this game took a while to get through and put us behind a little bit, but that's okay. We won't have that issue this weekend, or tomorrow. So we had game two where Takwa was able to get that W, and really, I think a lot of this comes again back down to Yusuf Kapoor really standing tall and being able to keep his team in it. Mohamed Shabir Patel, again, fantastic player, played amazing, played well. Zakaria Patel, who actually showed up this time and was able to play with his entire team. But all of that great, fantastic play would be all for naught, where Yakin was able to score off the blade of Altaf Panchati, and just take that overtime with a few seconds remaining. Not even like it was, yeah. And unfortunately, I think a huge turning point in this game was Huzaifa Panchbaya, unfortunately getting injured with a couple of minutes to go in the regular in game two, and then of course not being able to play in game three. So we do wish him a speedy recovery. Inshallah, we'll see him back next season. Bro, it is the Christmas time, so just take it easy, hang out, eat a lot of food, gain some weight. Hopefully you won't be as good as you were. But Abdullah, I'm going to throw it right back to you, brother, because you just have this phenomenal insight, and you played the game too. So let's go.
Yeah, for sure. So coming into this game, we knew it was going to be a lot harder than that first game. Having already played one game, it was really just whose legs could really stay fresh the most. I believe in like the first 5-10 seconds, Takwa won the face off. It went back to Ayaz. Ayaz gave it to Muhammad Shabir Patel, and he just absolutely lasered one, from the red line. Fahad didn't see it, and by the time he looked, it was already in the back of the net.
37 seconds.
Yeah,
That was a very fast goal. Not the fastest, but definitely
Yeah.
37 seconds.
yeah,
I saw that
definitely.
one.
It was and I think being down so early on, it just made it a lot harder, as the pressure was really on us. We didn't want this game to go to overtime, because we knew one shot like that from a player like Muhammad Shabir Patel can really just end our season. And so we were able to stick in there. I think one story from, I guess, that game was just penalties, and I think penalties is what really killed us in game 2. I believe we had like half the game we had someone in the box, and so our penalty kill was really really crucial for us,
Especially in the
in that
first
game.
half.
Yeah, a lot of the first half, I believe, Omar Abdullah was in the box for like 6 minutes. It's obviously something not new to him this season, but definitely, something that we have to fix going into our next game. Muhammad Shabir Patel was able to cap off a 2-on-1 in just to start the second half, and agent Muhammad Kasuji was able to get us within one, but we still unfortunately took the loss in that game, our second loss in the whole season. And I think one thing that was the defining factor was Jose going down just at the start of overtime, or at the end of game
It
2.
was the end of game 2, yeah.
Because that overtime period, I don't think that Takwa entered our zone, more than once that whole time. I think we really saw just Yusuf Kapoor standing on his head for almost the whole period, the whole 5 minute, really overtime. We were in their zone, just shots from Waqar, Maz, Altaf, Muhammad Kasuji, Zaid. Really, it was from all angles and all corners, and we knew it just took one shot, to win, and we didn't want to go to the shootout. We wanted to take advantage and of our possession, and alhamdulillah, we were able to really get one, to get a quick one by Yusuf from Altaf, I think, who's been a real star. And one thing that we were talking about in the locker room was Maz and Altaf were GMs, or were on Yakin in the summer season. Yakin was Altaf was the one that scored the overtime winner in the semifinals, sent his team to the finals. And same story, same team, the next season. So really was a great opportunity for us, and I think that could have gone either way. And we're really, I think that first game really helped us, ease the tension, and we lost our second game, but it's not over yet. So yeah.
So one thing I do have to say again, Abdullah, just great synopsis. I love it. Maz, I'm going to call you out on this because your bro gave me the lowdown. Fahad gave me the lowdown on this. Was you said, hey, if the only way Fahad could have been a GM was if he was a goalie, right? Like, you wouldn't have taken him as a GM if he was a D-man. So you know what, bro? I'm going to leave that part alone, but I think Fahad's really saving your butt right now. Even your one-handed Forsberg goal wouldn't save you if Fahad wasn't in net. So I just want to stir the pot a little bit for tomorrow. That takes us into our last semifinals game, which was Iman and Sabr again. Again, we have Hood Khan being the first star, Mohamed Saleh being the second star this time, and Zaid Khaler being the third star. You guys had alluded to this, where Riaz was injured and could not. He tried, but he could not start the second game itself.
No.
And somehow, I don't know how the man did it, how Yusuf was able to do this. He was able to play a game right after his second game, so he was able to go in net for Iman. And was able. What did he see? He saw 14 shots, and was able to get and blank Sabr. But still don't understand how he was able to play, and and regardless, he did well. So Iman was able to win this game and take their team into the finals. Habibi, why don't you give us the breakdown of this game?
Well, I think the breakdown of this game is similar to the breakdown of the first game. I mean, it was really our top line show, to be honest with you. And I don't think that, again, Sabr was expecting what they got. Hood, the chemistry that Hood and Mohammed and Bilal have is really like I said, it's really impressive to watch. I get the opportunity to see it every single night, but I don't think that Suber had the expectation in terms of like what was coming at them, and of course having I think the major part of Suber's success this year was obviously their goaltending, having Riaz in net, and not having Riaz in net for the second game. Definitely had taken a toll on them. But we had our game plan. We had our game plan. We stuck with it. We knew who their top line was. We knew what their tendencies were. And again, you guys alluded to it earlier. There are small little subtitles in this game. There are family ties. There are little sub stories that come in, and we got a lot of those players on our team that understand the tendencies of the other team, and I think we just capitalized on it, to be honest with you. And I don't think penalties was a big part of this game. I think it was an evenly played game. I think Tony let us play it out. It wasn't anything one sided or two sided or anything like that. And I think it's just one of those games where we just probably wanted it more, to be honest with you.
Well, okay, sorry. Let me just clarify one thing. I did make a mistake. I believe I kind of alluded that Kapoor played for Iman. I kind of said shutout, but no, Kapoor played for Suber.
Yeah,
He still did lose, unfortunately, but he played well. It was a scoreless first, and Hood's goal that put Iman ahead was about 7:30, about halfway through the first period, and Saleh's goal was an empty netter. So it was
Empty netter,
very, very close
it was.
throughout the game. But Abdullah, I know you guys were celebrating. Did you stick around for this, or did you just kind of say, hey, I got to get going? It's still a little too late.
For sure.
It was a late game.
It was.
I did stick around. I stuck around for Hood's goal. So I think that game. I think give it up for Yusuf for really just getting in. Getting on and in that game. He's actually played for the York Phantoms. He's our goalie for our Tier 4 on Tuesdays at the hangar. So he actually played 4 games in about 24 hours. So I don't know how he did it, but to only allow 1 goal on 14 shots was with a team with the skill and caliber like Iman. Got to give out to him. He's really come out on top as one of those top goalies in the league. And I'm sure next season or in future seasons, any team that has him, will be lucky to have him. And I think this game was really just of who wanted it more. We heard the whole season. Iman kind of was on a little bit shaky at the start, and then finishing off really, really strong and coming in on their 5th GM now. I think they're the first. I think they're the first team to have 5 GMs in a single season. So I think they definitely, with that change of personnel, the way that they're able to put it together is really amazing. And I think going into the finals, they're definitely not a team to take lightly. I think on the podcast a couple of weeks ago, I kind of alluded and I was kind of cheering for Iman. And I said that they'd make it to the finals, and here we are. So I just think
I just want to add something about the GM changes and all this stuff, because I'm on that team. I just want to let you guys know that Junaid still runs the team. So despite all the changes, despite everything that you guys see on the outside, Junaid is still very much well involved. And I'll be honest with you, like having Junaid behind the bench and kind of like calling out the lines, I think that is something that deserves some recognition, because that's something that you guys don't see. We on our team see it. So although we did have the change of personnel, the ghost of Junaid still lingers behind us, and it's still there. He's still the ones that is pulling the strings. But I think with his, with him still being there, and despite the change of personnel, I think that's a good. That's one of the main reasons why we've been successful too, as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think Junaid really found his calling behind the bench. I think maybe.
I think he needs to stay there. Is that what you're alluding to, Abdullah?
I'm not alluding to that. All I'm saying is that we have changes, but he's still there. That's all.
I was talking to a couple of his Tigers teammates, and they told me to tell him to just stay behind the bench on the podcast. So I guess we'll leave it at that, and hopefully he doesn't put in too much work tomorrow against us in the finals.
Well, we'll talk about that in a couple of minutes. So.
Well, not even a couple of minutes. So we have
this is why I'm here.
We have our championship game. Habibi's going to go put us through the logistics of it, but the game times are 8 and 10, no difference. We have a scrimmage in between where, if you have the WhatsApp chat, or if you're connected to us on WhatsApp, then you know that there's a registration form. We still have a couple of spots left. We'll allude that to that. But anyways, let's get back to the championship game. Big showdown between Iman and Yakin. Iman on a tear coming in the last few weeks with shuffles of GMs and everything. And Yakin just solid through and through, had a little bit of a stumble coming into the playoffs, but just very resilient, coming off the backs of their GMs, just playing strong, playing thorough, not giving up, not letting themselves get weighed down. And of course, I have my two colleagues with me that are going to be representing their own team. So you guys have the floor one by one. I'm going to give Habibi the floor because he's going to just talk us through the logistics, but also give us the lowdown on his team. And then Abdullah, I'll give you the say for sure.
Sure. So first of all, shout out to the guys doing the graphics. I mean, these graphics that I've seen, absolutely stunning. I mean, even what we're seeing right now, like seeing Maz and seeing Asif, like seeing just that whole contingent. It's really good to see that. But you know what? To be honest with you, like it really boils down to these two teams. Both teams obviously had different paths to get to where they are right now. Yakin, they've obviously had their path that's been very successful from the very beginning. Our path has been obviously, a little bit slow, but it's, it is where it is today. And at the end of the day, like, I think both teams definitely deserve to be there. I think, the resiliency that they've shown, especially during the last couple of weeks, it's really two teams that really have deserved that spot. But in terms of the logistics tomorrow, it is a 2-game playoff. So obviously, we will be playing each other, inshallah, tomorrow at 8:00. Definitely a game that I'm looking forward to, and I'm sure Abdullah's looking forward to it as well. In the middle, we do have the rink for the 3 hours. So obviously, we will be having kind of like a 1 hour scrimmage or 1 hour pickup in between, and that really is to. We have the hours, we have to pay the rest, and there's kind of logistics involved in terms of like having the rink rentals, but it's really an opportunity to bring guys out because we do want to get as many guys out for the championship game as possible. Of course, there's a game right after, and again, whatever happens in the first game depends on what happens in the second game, and then you guys definitely know what goes from there. But in terms of Iman, I can tell you our group chat has been extremely lively. I think we're definitely pumped. We've definitely found our groove, and it's really good to see that we found our groove at the right time. I think we've found the chemistry. I think everyone in our team knows their role. We know what's expected. We know how it feels like to win, but we definitely know how it feels like to lose, and we don't want that again. I think we're going in with a positive mindset. We do know, although you guys make fun of Junaid in terms of like his position behind the bench, but I do believe in his leadership in terms of like finding out what the Yakin weak spots are. I think he knows what they are. Don't need to identify them here because every team does have a weak spot, and it's really the GMs that are GMs for that reason, is to identify the opponent's weak spot. But I'm definitely looking forward to this game. I think we do have a game plan in mind. I think we do know what it takes to beat Yakin. It's not like we haven't done it before. We can definitely do it again. And I think, with 2 games, I think there's a couple of tricks up our sleeves. But I know Abdullah has different opinions on this, so we'll let him share his thoughts a little bit on this one.
Just a second, Abdullah, before you get going. Saleh Asim has something to say. He wants an over/under for the finals. What are the odds? So I don't know, Habibi, if you're in your commission role, have the over/unders, or have been in talks with Vegas about this, or what's?
I don't think Islam has any affiliation with Vegas or any affiliation with any over and unders. But inshallah, and this is not in Arabic, inshallah, Iman will come on top.
And then we definitely have this other one I want to put up before Abdullah gets in. So we have Canadian Sniper saying Altaf Panchati is going to play spoiler. So
meaning that we have the odds then if they're going to be playing spoiler.
I guess you guys are considered the favorients, but if
we'll see what Abdullah has to say. I'm sure Abdullah has some points that he wants to
definitely
get it off his chest.
Yeah, no, definitely. Coming in, seeing Iman get the victory in game 2 last week, definitely, we're feeling I guess the pressures leading up to
Alhamdulillah.
I think the story of tomorrow is really going to be we've seen the GMs really pull together, but I think it's the story tomorrow is really going to be how does the supporting cast play, because you only have 3 GMs and you have 12 other teammates. That really needs to pull. They really need to pull their weight. And I think the supporting cast, on my team, whether it's myself or Omar Abdullah, I think I think a lot of our teammates have got to really pull it together. And same with Iman, with Hood and Muhammad Saleh. Can they really step up and play that pivotal role that they've played, leading up to the finals? I think we've kind of been, at the top of the standings for essentially the whole season. So, our one loss in the whole season really coming up against Iman, I think it only makes sense that, we really get it back in blood and, in the finals. And so, funny enough, like one of the first games of the season was Yakin versus Iman in week 1. And now, the last game of the season will be Yakin versus Iman. So it's really going to be, a tale of who wants it more. I think we're not going to be, we're not going to be taking anything lightly of that matter. Being the 5th seed, I think in the playoffs, it really doesn't matter what seed you are. They've already knocked off number 4 Ihsan and number 1 Sabr. So we know what they can do. And I think we're just going to stay focused, play our game, how we've played the whole season, and inshallah come out on top. And I know Iman will do the same thing. Hopefully we're able to see I guess Adam out there. I think it's always a pleasure playing against him, and I'm sure we'll get the scouting report. I'll have my eyes somewhere before the game, trying to see who's missing and who's here. So yeah.
Abdullah, Moose, your boy, is asking how many goals are you getting tomorrow? I think you may have to give some spelling advice to Moose because apparently he carries you in Fortnite. But he's wondering how many goals you're looking forward to scoring tomorrow.
Inshallah, I think I wanna
Arabic, inshallah,
in the winter season. I know I really got robbed in the finals. I think that was my moment to get my finals goal by.
I remember that actually.
By Maju himself. So
yes, I remember
definitely, that. Trying to pot a couple, and I think I'm gonna try my best, and hopefully I can I guess help my team to victory.
Yeah, I think I think you're right, Abdullah. I think like guys like you, like in terms of like if your top line relies on guys like you, but if they find that kind of that diamond in the rough, like in your second line and your third line, I think you're right. I think it really will come down to those two, because again, it's 2 games. It's going to be a long night. You don't have 3 guys that'll carry it out throughout the whole night. So I do agree with you. But the one thing that Iman has, because I've seen it obviously throughout, is we really found our roles. Like in terms of like we really do know where we belong. Junaid in the back in terms of like calling out the lines and stuff like that. That really has helped us, and in terms of like respecting of when, when we go on and when we don't go on. In terms of like really understanding where we fit in the game. But you're right. I think it will be really a defining role in terms of like where the second line and the third line comes in, and where they come into play, and if they can capitalize on those other lines. It will really be a team effort. I don't think it'll be dependent on the top lines, because they're just going to fight each other out. It's just going to be on us minions, Abdullah, in terms of like making sure that the second lines and the third line do what what we should be doing, which is like giving the support to the top line.
For sure. And I think tomorrow, I think last week was our first time actually the whole season that we had almost a full team. We still never had a full team the whole season. We did have Abbas with us, but unfortunately he got injured, I believe, week 5 or week 4. So he was behind the bench, also helping us. But inshallah, I think it's really gonna come down to I guess which support can really help their.
I agree. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be. I mean, even if I wasn't playing and I was just watching it, I think it's still just watching these 2 teams in terms of like what they bring to the table. 2 very quick teams, to have very solid goaltending. You have one up and coming goaltending in Adam Zaid, and there's nothing that stops that kid. Never a seasoned veteran in terms of like Fahad in net, and we all know what he brings to the table too. So we can't forget those 2 guys in the back end. I'm sure that they're gonna do what they do best and make it tough for for us forwards to get it in. But yeah, this game's gonna have it all. This game has veterans, it has youth, it has skill, it has big guys that can bump, it has it has everything that you can ever ask for a championship. And to be honest with you, it's well deserved on both sides. And if you're going to be out there tomorrow, I hope you guys will enjoy it. And if you're out there for pickup, stay. That's the whole purpose of why we have the pickup in between, is so we can have the guys watch the the championship game at the end. But yeah, it's definitely going to be a good one. I'm looking forward to it for sure.
So speaking of the pickup game, we do have a slide deck here for the pickup game. It's from 9 to 10. Of course, we may have to adjust the timing depending on how how late the game one goes. But ideally, we're going to try to get you the hour as you're paying for it. As of this afternoon, we only had a couple of spots left. So if you haven't signed up, please do. Especially if you're new to the league, reach out, see if there's a spot still remaining, because this is what's going to get you scouted, and this is what's going to get you into the league. Just to give yourself the name there. But of course, totally understand if you can't and whatnot. But at least this is just your entrance to the league. And just a reminder to everybody else that whoever is registering or still to register, next season is a 12-game season. Yes, we have the split of Ramadan in between, but that's why we have extended the games. It's $180, so it's only a $5 increase for 2 extra games. So it's actually more economical than any other league across the board.
Yep.
And you get the added feature or added plus of having a brotherhood league. Like, you get to meet guys. I'd never met Abdullah before or Habibi before joining this league. So
I didn't even know you guys were.
Exactly, right? And Habibi's coming in from Ajax. Abdullah's from Brampton,
Yeah.
and I'm from Toronto. Like, this is what really gets our brotherhood going, and it's a great atmosphere. And this is why I come and I stay for 4 hours when I don't have anything else to do. But it's still, but we only have 20 spots left, guys. So please. The registration is only complete when you do the form and you send in your money. If you don't send in the money, your registration is not completed. You do not have a spot. If there are any goalies that are looking to sign up, please email first. I wouldn't be surprised if the goalie spots are done, but that will still bring you on the reserve list. And this season, we had a lot of times where the reserve goalies had to be called to sub in. So again, that'll just get you the exposure to get into the league. Habibi, that is the end of our slides. Do you have anything to just wrap it up? Abdullah, I'm still going to throw it back to you just for your final comments. But Habibi,
the season was great. First of all, let's just leave it at that. There's still 6 other teams that had a journey. Obviously, they're not going to have the same journey that Abdullah and I will have tomorrow. But just to those 6 teams and to those players on those teams, I hope your experience was great. And I hope you did establish those friendships that Maja that you were talking about. And the beauty about Ice Slam is that when you join next season, you're going to start that whole journey with a different set of guys, and it just builds that camaraderie and that relationship, for seasons to come, which is why we encourage you. And I wish I had this when I was younger. We encourage you to obviously, register quickly and make sure you get that spot on the next season. But in terms of the season in general, I think we had a great season. We had a good turnout. We had actually kind of sold out within record time. We didn't have that many issues in terms of like short benched or anything like that we didn't have like in the summer. So there was that comfort in terms of like having players and stuff like that. And I think it was a good experience from what I've heard, like in terms of feedback from the league. But again, there's only 2 teams left. So tomorrow is going to be extremely, extremely important. It's going to be extremely fun. And again, it's the ending of that journey for the 2 teams that are coming for tomorrow. And hopefully, inshallah, it'll be a better experience for Iman. Obviously, I'm a little bit biased from that perspective, hoping that Iman, has that. But again, I wish also Joaquin the best of luck too, because they're also a great team. And if they win, kudos out to them. But in terms of like the season ending, I think it was a great season, and I'm definitely, regardless of what happens, I wish Joaquin the best of luck. And inshallah, I hope to see many of you guys tomorrow, but more importantly, I hope to see you guys next season.
Yeah, for sure.
Sorry, Abdullah. I still want to finish with you, bro. But Canadian Sniper just brought up a quick little
he messaged
comment.
me too.
Okay, so more information on next season. We're going to start January the 5th, I believe. The draft, we're still solidifying the GMs, and the draft will inshallah be in the winter break. So that's when we're trying to schedule it, knowing that people are off for Christmas and whatnot. So we're trying to get it done. There's no formalized date just yet. When we have more information, inshallah, we will be putting it out on IG and on the WhatsApp group. So just stay tuned. I leave it to the leadership to convey that message out. So just great question,
Yeah.
but I just wanted to let people know.
Yeah, and we're very transparent with that. I mean, once we get everything solidified in terms of like the because we will. I got to start paying my bills, shouldn't I?
Perfect. No, it's a Rogers thing. But Abdullah, the floor is all yours before we wrap it
shout
up.
out to Hamoudi. It's his birthday.
Yeah, no, for sure. Oh yes. Wishing him, hope he can come out and
20th
cheer on
birthday.
against
Yeah.
against you tomorrow. So yeah.
Okay, go for it, Abdullah. Anything you wanna stir the pot a little bit before we get before we call it a night?
No, I'd rather not light any fires for tomorrow. I think we'll leave it onto the ring. But yeah, just a couple of questions I'm getting from some of our viewers. They kind of messed me privately, but they're also asking if we have any an update on different jersey designs as well.
There are different sponsors, but I think we're sticking with the same jersey designs this year.
Okay, sounds good. But yeah, I think that's it, and I'll leave it for now. If you guys don't know, the Leafs actually came back from 5-0 down, and it's currently in overtime. So
I'm getting all the messages too, and I'm thinking like maybe that I think it's your room, Abdullah. Maybe we should do all our podcasts from your room. Maybe bring us good luck.
So if you guys haven't noticed, he's got. I'm gonna try to put him on the bigger screen here, but he's got all the Go Leafs Go stuff in the back and Leafs Forever.
Yeah, I have a couple of jerseys and flags like around and logos like around my room. So yeah, this is my old room. I don't sleep here anymore, guys.
Well, anyways, brother, thanks for joining us, and I just want to say thank you everyone for attending. Guys, inshallah, I'll see you guys out there tomorrow, and looking forward to another fantastic finals and who's going to raise the cup.
That's the plan.
Okay, take care, boys. Inshallah, until next time.
Assalamu alaikum.